Now then, right, we're going to do a few audio checks, let people come in. Right, I've just seen your message, free speech, my love, and I will read it properly and reply after. Right. What's going on here? Right, hold on. There's quite a lot I want to talk to you about tonight. I was blown away last night by some of the stuff that I was seeing. Right, I'm just emailing myself something. Just something else as well. Oh God. Sorry. I think that's it. I thought there was something else. Right. Okay. No, there was something else. I know there was. Anyway, I'll find it. Right, okay, welcome everybody. Just first of all, before we get straight into this, can you let me know if the audio is okay? Is it a bit loud or a bit quiet? Hopefully it sounds okay. At my end, it looks good. I've brought the microphone a little bit closer as well because it was a bit far away before, so I might be a bit loud. If I am, let me know. Am I popping? Is it popping? Oh, thank you, Nikki. Do you know what? I'm not getting your messages because every time I go in there, there's nothing there. And then all of a sudden, I'll get like loads come through. Instagram's useless. Loud and clear. Thank you, Bridget. Hi, Nikki. Hi, lovely Jubbly. Hi, Sawon. Thank you very much. Are you Cosmic War Toad. I'm not going to read anything other than hellos and about the case because I get distracted. Brum Vixen, I've just messaged you. Maltese, Terry Knowles Band again. Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm not going to be reading the chat, okay? I'm going to continue with what we were talking about last night. Before we get going, I'm going to quickly let you all know where we were. Hi, Lee. How you doing? Now, let me just get up to where we were last night because after the stream ended, okay, I got really into this. Now, as I said, I've always followed this, but I got really, I've always followed the story. A lot of it I remember, but it's looking back, there's so much that we didn't look at the time because, you know, people have lives, and even though you're aware of stuff on the news and everything else, you're not, looking as deep into it as what we can be now, years later. So we're going to be finishing now. If you remember yesterday, we were looking at this. We watched an interview of this. I think it was the very first. The first suspect was Robert Murrat. We haven't even got into him yet, but we will. That's not going to be tonight. There's too much tonight to get through. There's going to be at least another 3 shows. Now, yesterday, the streams are all up if you want to look, and I think I'm putting them into a playlist as well, and they're all public. We watched the interview of this Sergey Malinka. It was the most bizarre interview, other than watching Jerry and Kate's interviews. He looked really uncomfortable. And he was contradicting himself. He met Robert Murrat the year before, but then he did work for Robert Murrat's mother 4 years before, but apparently he didn't know that was his mother. And he was also doing work, even though he'd stopped doing work for Robert Murrat, he was now doing work for Robert Murrat's aunt or cousin, Sally, who he didn't know who that was, but he wasn't sure. It was a family member. He was deep in there. I found something really strange yesterday as well, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, right? So he was doing this interview with Sky News, and he'd literally just come back from the police station. He'd been there since the night before. So he was saying, I'm not a witness. No, I'm not a suspect. My voice is going as well, by the way. I'm definitely coming down with something, and I'm fed up. I've had this on and off for now for the past week, and it's definitely coming now. Oh, I went off my multivitamins, and I tried some different ones because they were too expensive, and they were working because I've come off them, and I can really tell. Anyway, so he was being interviewed, and he was the way he was acting. I did link it yesterday, this interview. If you want to go back through yesterday's live chat, it's in there. And he was basically saying that he's not a he doesn't grape children, and he was the way he was just speaking, it was really bizarre. Now, we found in the PJ files, which are, the PJ is the police force in Portugal, tiny little. I remember now the police station had no windows and one little cell. I remember it now. It's all come back to me. And the police station there, by law in Portugal, they all got released in August 2008, and the rest of it got released in 2012. They just dumped everything, right? Videos. There's over 4,700 pieces of evidence in these files. They have been mostly wiped from the internet, but there are still places you can get them. So we typed this guy's name into it, and all this stuff come up. So we were looking through his witness statement and the search warrants. This is where we are now. So for those of you that missed yesterday, that's where we are right now. So we're going to finish reading about this guy, and then there's a couple of little things I want to mention or show you related to this guy who was Russian. And then we're going to move on to the tapas 7. But we'll get into that after, because some of the things I'm finding out, and some of you may know this stuff, I don't know, but it blew my mind last night. I was up most of the night researching this, and it's blowing my mind. I didn't think this case could blow my mind any more than it already does, but it went and did that. So we're going to carry on now. I hope that's made sense so you all know where we are. And I'm just going to get into the chat. Okay. Right. Just going to swap accounts and get into the Curious Bunny. And then we will continue. Right, okay. 51 watching. Hi, everybody. Hi, Julius. Hit the like, guys, if you don't mind. It does really, really help. Hi, Ray Clay. Lucy's back. Hello, darling. Jan's here. Hi, sweetie. Oh, hi, Tamsin. Hi, Sing Blue Silver. Hi, Avijandro. Avigadro. Hi, Mocha. How are you? Thanks for coming back, bro. Vixen. Right, I'm going to stop reading the chat again. Yeah, we didn't quite finish it, did we? We said we'd finish it tomorrow because it was like 1:45 in the morning. So I'm just going to find where we were. So this is the guy here, okay? And again, we're not going to rewatch this interview, but he did a really bizarre interview. Now, the interview took place on the 17th of May, which was exactly 14 days after Madeleine went missing. But he was taken in for questioning on the 16th. Now, he says he was as a witness, and technically he was, but he did have a search warrant issued, and they did take away a lot of his stuff. Now, according to this paperwork, now, again, he was a computer expert working for Robert Murrat. Now, Robert Murrat, we will do a deep dive into him on a separate show. Okay, tonight is going to be finish off this here, and then we're going to go into the tapas 7. I'm going to go through all the main players and what they did and who they are. All right, so let's just find where we were. Now, in this paperwork, it states that this guy on the hard drives were pornography and in bestiality. All right, it's in this paperwork. I don't know why they've cut out his eyes, but he'd been living in Portugal since I think it was 2005. It says 2006 here, but he was Russian. Now, make that what you will. They always seem to be involved, don't they, these Russians? So all of this paperwork is here, okay? Now, it's all in Portuguese and I can't read it. But luckily, this has all been deciphered for us here. Now, in this, he had to describe what he does, right? We covered this yesterday, like what he does on his day, what time he wakes up, what time he goes to work. He had to give his account. They also asked him what he was doing the day that Madeleine went missing. Now, I find it also a bit bizarre that he didn't help look. All the locals were looking and he didn't. He said he was too busy. He also, it's been proven that he had a phone call with Robert Murrat. Now, they reported Maddie missing, I think it was around 10:30. Between 10:30 and 11 on the May the 3rd, 2007, police found on records that he had a phone call with Robert Murrat, who was the first suspect, and he worked with him at 11:30. So he had a phone call the night Maddie went missing. This guy says he doesn't remember, all right? He affirms that he does not recall having received such a call, but if it happened, which it did because the police have got records, it will have been to arrange a meeting. Now, he can't remember 2 weeks ago whether he had a phone call. And they met in the supermarket. They met either in Robert Murrat's bedroom, according to this statement, we covered it all yesterday, or the supermarket. Now, we got down here, I think, yesterday. We got down here, so we're going to continue. He said he's not lying for Robert. He doesn't know where Madeleine is or any explanation of the events under investigation. No other information to provide for the file. He has nothing further to add. He reads, ratifies, and will sign. Now, he lived with his mother and he had a Portuguese girlfriend. I'm going to sip on my tea. His mother also had to give a statement as well. What's an MDA? Is that one of them little pocket computer things that you had in the noughties? So, list of further confiscated items from Malinka, which is him, dated the 17th. This is a formal signed consent for an MDA Windows Mobile 2003 to be analysed. His phone's 4 years old and he's an IT person. Now, IT people usually have phones more than that, but there you go, more often than that. So again, this is in Portuguese. But I can't read it. But luckily, they're telling us, right? So, fact sheet with copy of Malinka's passport, confirmation of above facts. This is a fact to the Russian consul, together with a copy of 2 pages from his passport. So they were actually dealing with the Russian consulate. They're saying he was only a witness, but he was pretty much involved in this. They don't just take people's computers away. They don't just do a search warrant and take you for questioning and your mother for no reason at night. Okay. And let's not forget, at this time, Robert Murrat, which again we haven't even started looking into, was the prime suspect, and he worked with him. I just want to add as well, during this, the USSR look, and it ran out in 2010. So he had an active passport, he had a Russian passport, and he had a Portuguese passport. This is his Russian passport, Russian Federation. Okay. Now, I do find it a little bit dodgy. What we know about Russia is you've got these Russian nationals linked to things like this. I do find it a little bit dodgy. I don't know about you guys. Now, there's his Portuguese passport. His picture's not on that. Oh, it's a visitor, so it's like a visa type thing. Visto. That must be his visa. But apparently he'd been living in Portugal for 7 years. So, we're going to read the rest of this. These are just the little bits of paperwork. And we're going to continue. Now, this is the mother, all right? So his mother was also taken in for questioning. And her name is Svetlana Malinka, mother of Sergey Malinka. So this was the time was at 10 o'clock, and this was 2007, and this was the 20th of June. So this was much later. They took the mother in. They took him in on the 16th of May. They waited till the 20th of June to take the mother in, which is a bit strange. So, again, I can't read this, but this is something to do with her. This is, again, she's Russian. I don't know why she would be there. Right. In the matter of the file, she said, she comes to the capacity as a witness. Again, why would they be getting her in 6 weeks later? Right, okay, listen to this, folks. This is getting really interesting now. Let's not forget that his mother, this lady, got him the work with Robert Murrat, who was the number one suspect at this time. It says here that the witness does not know the Portuguese language. She's going to be assisted in this act by a Russian-speaking interpreter. The witness has been in Portugal since 1999, having always resided in Praia de Luz, Lagos. Listen to this, folks. For approximately 5 to 6 years, let me just see if I can make it a bit bigger. Oh, you've not got it? Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, this is why I should look at the chat, really. Right. Can you see this now? Yes. Right. Sorry, guys. See, if I was looking at the chat, you would have warned me. And because I'm not looking at the chat, I didn't know. Right. You should be able to read this. Right, okay. Blonde. Okay, so this is what we've just been going through. All right. Now, we covered a lot of this yesterday, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. I've given you a quick recap on where we are from yesterday. All right. So this is her statement, but I just find it odd that they never took her in until a further month after they'd questioned her son. And I find it dodgy that they're saying that he was just a witness, and yet they took his computer. Right. So 20th of June, she comes, she gets interviewed. Now, the witness has been in Portugal, read that bit, for approximately 5 to 6 years. I need to make this smaller, sorry, because it's going off the page. She undertakes cleaning work, and let's not forget that she got him the job with Robert Murrat, the prime suspect. She undertakes cleaning work in the area of Praia de Luz, and specifically in the area of the Ocean Club. Now, that's where the Tapas 7 were all dining. So the 9 of them, Jerry McCann and all their little doctor mates and the kids, were apparently left in the apartment, which I don't believe. And they've had to make that up because, one, how could they say somebody had got Madeleine if they were there? And two, there's no break-in. So they've had to say the door was left open. They've had to, because there was no sign of forced entry in the door. Because she never left that apartment, in my opinion, from everything I'm seeing. This is what people need to get. The McCanns are suing people left, right and centre, and this is going to get deep because some of the stuff that I found last night will blow your mind. I'm only reading documentation that is still available on the internet. Now, they have had a lot of the internet wiped. I didn't think they could do it, but they have. Some of the information that I've come across, luckily, somebody uploaded it as a PDF because it's been wiped from the internet, and the paper was sued, the Portuguese paper. So everything I'm saying, every time I form an opinion on this case, I am going by the evidence in front of me. I'm not just randomly coming out with stuff. So, again, Club Ocean, whatever it was called, Ocean Club, that is where the Jerry McCann and Kate were dining allegedly and left the kid, right? She worked there. Why has it Matthew got a spanner? Hold on. The thing is, a lot of people have told me that you know, they've told me that there's this rumour, there's hit the like, folks, please, if you enjoy this, because it does really, really help. Now, I've got a lot of people telling me stuff like, look into this, look into that. I am literally doing this my own way. All right. It may take me longer, but I need to go through this in my own time, in my own way. Right. Because I've heard a lot of rumours. I've now found evidence to support the rumours. So I don't want to go by rumours. A lot of people are contacting me saying this happened, that happened, but there's no evidence. So let's find the evidence. Anyway, so the mother worked there, the Russian, which undertakes cleaning in the specific area of the Ocean Club where the company performs cleaning work in the apartment. So the mother cleaned the McCanns' apartment as well. So she had access to the apartments. Robert Murrat's IT friend, who looked really dodgy on that interview yesterday, his mother cleaned the apartment. What are the chances? And his mother got him the job with Murrat. She cleaned the apartments near the apartment where the English miner work in some of the apartments. English miner Madeleine McCann disappeared, namely in an apartment that is in the same block, right? So it wasn't that exact one, but which is on the top floor. It being that the witness does not know precisely which apartment. I personally think from this, she doesn't know it was actually those apartments, because why would you clean some of them above but not that one? If you were a cleaner, you would just clean. So she's saying here that she didn't clean that exact apartment. Okay then. And there's no way of finding out, I'm guessing. I don't know if they keep records. She adds that the witness is not always the one who goes there, as there are other employees in the firm and the work allocation is done on a rotation basis. Therefore, if it's rotated, surely she would end up cleaning those apartments at other times, so we'll take it in turns. The witness adds the vast majority of people working in the area know that the apartments in the block occupied by the McCann couple are normally occupied given the proximity of the pool, and the occupants are usually foreigners. So it's a very busy place and the apartments are usually got people in. The witness declares further that she knew of the disappearance of the minor from having heard conversations of her colleagues commenting on the case, it being that only 2 days after the event she came to understand. So she didn't know for 2 days. Again, the press were all over it and one day. And there was missing posters up the next day. So I find that a bit unbelievable, to be fair. She has nothing to add regarding the disappearance of the minor, Madeleine McCann. except to say that she has lived in the area of Praia da Luz for about 8 years, and at no time has she ever been aware of abnormal situations given she characterises the area as being very quiet, even though she said it's full of holidaymakers all the time. Nothing further was said, read, ratified, and will sign with the translator who assisted in this. Now, so this is it here. Obviously, we can't read. Well, I can't read Portuguese. I don't know about you lot. How are we all doing, folks? Are we all following? Am I okay with what I'm doing? Are you all following okay? Because I'm not checking chat like I should be, you see, because I get distracted. Right. I'm hoping that that's okay. Okay. Podesta Brothers is a whole new thing. I'm not going to be able to go deep into that on YouTube. They won't let me. I did explain this yesterday. I don't think you've seen it, Matthew, but we're not going to be able to go into that because YouTube won't allow it. And secondly, again, that's just another line of avenue of questioning. And I think a lot of it was bullshit. I think a lot of it was distraction. I believe there was no abduction. This is what I believe. That's from what I'm seeing. That's my opinion, right? But this might change my mind. You know, I'm happy to have my mind changed by this evidence. So, I find it a bit bizarre that a Russian woman, we all know a lot of them are like spies, and her son are both working there. Okay. But we'll look into it, but we've just got to be careful on YouTube. They don't like you talking about that. You know, the PIZZ gate. All right. Now, what's this here? Hang on a minute, guys. What's this? Oh, hang on a sec. What's this about paedophile material? Now, this here, so she signed that. Now, there's another piece here, volume 13. This is all related to that Sergey Malinka and his mother. Confidential report of denouncement of Sergey Malinka in Spanish. What does that? What would you say that means? Confidential report of denouncement. So he's being denounced by somebody. The second of the 3 pieces of information from the book given to the PJ, which is the police, by Metodo 3 Processo. Now, I just want to add, this dude wrote a book in 2017. Hi, Free Speech. How you doing, my love? How you doing, darling? So, this bloke wrote a book in 2017. Now, this is from 2007, so that's why I haven't mentioned it yet. Possibly Lovely Jubbly. Yeah, maybe. I'm literally just checking the chat now. Hi, Alan Edge. I'm going to stop looking at it again. All right. This information here, I think that's paedophilic. Right. I'm going to try stop reading. This is apparently in Spanish. Record of paedophile material. I don't know who Alison is. Alison informs us that 4 years ago, her boyfriend Christian, right? Christian, isn't he the current suspect? Or is that a different Christian? Remember that Christian Berdebecker, whatever his name is. Hi, Hoppers. Hi, everybody. I'm not checking much chat. I'm just literally catching it. Hi, Danny. Right. You know the current suspect, this Christian Berdebecker, who they just wheeled out from nowhere a few years ago. In 2007, nobody was talking about this guy. Robert Murrat was the suspect at the time. This Christian Berdebecker is going to be the topic of another separate live stream, right? Is it a coincidence that they're talking about a Christian, or is this the same Christian that's going to come? We're going to find out at some point down the line. It's all going to come out whether this is the same Christian who is their current suspect. But when this was all done, there was no Christian suspect. And again, I think he's a patsy. I found an article from just a year ago, 2024, on this exact case, saying that robbers had robbed the apartment and killed her by accident and dumped her in the ocean. Every single year, they reel out a new stupid theory, far-fetched nonsense. Literally nonsense. Every single year, there is some nonsense coming out on this case to make the public become so fatigued by it that they stop asking questions, because none of it makes sense, because it won't do, because it's all nonsense. The case was solved within the first 2 weeks by the Portuguese police before we started getting involved. But we'll get into that after, when I'm starting talking about the 7:30, which is going to be the second half of this live stream. Okay. So, yeah, Bruckner, I always say it wrong. Anyway, so I don't know who this Alison is, but look at this, guys. Alison informs us that 4 years ago, her boyfriend Christian, again, I don't know whether it's the same Christian, spelt differently, was spending 2 nights at Sergey Malinka's home. Sergey Malinka is this current guy who apparently is just a witness, and they found bestiality and pornography on his, they took away his stuff, yeah? This woman says that her boyfriend was staying at his home 4 years prior. Upon going to send an email from one of Sergey's computers, so this is on record, this is a statement to the police, and upon joining an attachment, he saw paedophile material. Wow. So that dude who we were watching the interview with, how uncomfortable he looked and how we knew there was something going on. He was holding his ear. He was flicking his body around. Yeah. That guy, 4 years prior, his mate alleges that he's seen paedophilic material on his computer. And he told his girlfriend. And his girlfriend has put a statement out. When asked for explanations, Sergey told him that it was a client's computer and that he would denounce the fact to the pertinent authorities the following day. Did you remember that interview? Do you want me to play that interview again without stopping it and just play it of this guy? Let me know. I can just play it without stopping it and pausing it and talking over it, and we can just watch it flow now that we know this. So 4 years prior, his mate found paedophilic material on his computer, and he blamed it on, this is somebody else's computer, it's not mine. And he promised to go to the police the next day and report it. Okay? He said to his mate, don't worry, because his mate would have gone, all right then, if this isn't your computer and this is a client's computer, you need to report it to the police, because I'm sure if somebody here borrowed their mate's mobile or tablet, or, you know, and you've seen paedophilic images on it, what would you do? You'd go to the police. I wouldn't care who it was. It could be a family member. I would report it to the police. We all would. Okay? So his friend said to him, okay, if it's not yours, what are you going to do? And he said, Sergey told him it was a client's computer and he would denounce the fact to the pertinent authorities the following day. Alison's phone number obviously blurred out. The telephone conversation with Alison is attached. Now, I don't know whether original Spanish texting, the telephone conversation is not in the files. I don't know if this telephone conversation was with the police and Alison was reporting it to the police via a telephone conversation, or whether she had a telephone conversation with her brother. But let me continue and see if it says. So the telephone conversation is not on file. This is in Spanish now. I can't read Spanish. This is her statement. Right. Letter. This is a letter from Malinka, from the Sergey Malinka, who's allegedly had paedophilic material on his computer, requesting the return of items confiscated and the return of his laptops. The instruction judge, Lagos Judicial Court. Right, so let's keep going. So Sergey Malinka, this is when he got his stuff back, previously identified in the process files, come to request the following. So, oh my God, the following page is missing, guys. We'd ever found out if he went to the police or not. Yeah, I'm going to play it again, but we're not going to talk this time. I'm just going to not talk. Okay. Right. This is when he went to get his stuff back. But they're saying that they never found they only found pornography and bestiality, which is sick. Sick, sick, sick. But the police are saying, but he's a computer expert. It's not going to be hard for him to wipe it, is it? So he went to the judge to get his stuff back. Sergey Malinka, previously identified in the process files, come to request the following. As explained in a previous request on the 16th of May 2007, at about 3 o'clock, the Porto, the PJ, which is the police there, carried out searches in my residence. See document joined to my previous request. So he's obviously asked for this back before and he's been ignored. Hi, Carlos. On the night of the 16th to the 17th, I was heard exhaustively at the police station installations in my quality as a witness. I don't know what this means. I was heard exhaustively at the Portimo PJ. I think he's saying that he was there all night, exhausted, I think, as a witness. On the 17th of May, remember that's the interview. We're gonna watch it again. I'm gonna play it again, and I'm not gonna talk, okay? On the 17th of May, at the end of the afternoon, all material was returned to me that had been apprehended on the previous evening, with the exception of a Sony portable computer. This is that MDA thing. Model number, blah, 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 with serial number, blah, blah. And the rest of the material that was taken from my home for future analysis. The PJ promised me at that moment that the material in point 3 will be returned to me in a week's time. 3 exclamation marks. Until now, 10 months later, nothing has been returned to me, and this situation continues to cause me serious harm and difficulty in my professional life. I request that you return I request that you order to go to the judge to return the apprehended items with maximum urgency, ordering its return to me by, and then the following page is missing, guys. It's missing. So these files, there is stuff that's been redacted. Why? What was in that one? I bet you that one said I bet you any money that it said that he didn't report to the police the next day, the paedophilic stuff that he reckons was on his friend's computer. No, a client's computer. Hi, little Miss Sunshine. This is madness. This is absolutely madness. This is what I mean. The stuff that we're finding out here is stuff that nobody knew about. We've all heard about the Podesta brothers. We've all heard rumours about the tapas. We've all heard all these things. And people keep coming to me going, have you heard this? Have you heard that? But this is actually going through the actual evidence. I would never have known about this. And another thing I want to say, there's a couple more points I want to make to this guy, right? Firstly, he wrote a book in 2017 about all this, he made money from it and said that it ruined his life. And another thing I want to talk about, where's my phone? Hang on. Right, I just want to read something out. Okay, just bear with me because this is really interesting. Let me just find it. Hang on. I've got to try and find it now, guys. Just sorry. I bet I can't find it now. Watch. This is it. Right. I wanted you to read this article. I'm going to just get it up on the laptop. Just bear with me. This article, right. So last night, yeah, I was going through all this and I was doing searches on this guy and anything related to this, right? Because I wanted to know, where is this guy now? Because this was in 2007. So just come out of that. Stop. Okay, 88 watching. Please hit the like, guys. It helps, or dislike. Let me just get a banner up as well along the bottom, so I can just... Part 4. How mad's that? I will listen to your messages. Read your message after. Free speech. I'm sorry, we need to chat, don't we? That's not the one I wanted to show. Oh my God. There we go. There we are. Okay. So yesterday I was going through, because I'm trying to find where this guy is now, this Sergey Malinka person, right? So I managed to find an article from, I think it was 2014. Right, just bear with me a sec. Right, this got my ears prickling, this did. So glad I found this. So I was looking for any information on this Sergey Malinka, and all I found was this. He wrote a book. Now, I think it'll be worth reading this book. But this article popped up, right? I know free speech. I'm literally learning it as I'm going along as well. There's so much I didn't know. They're all left up and whatever. I had someone leave a comment earlier saying they love listening to my old podcasts. It sends them to sleep. I thought, is that a compliment? I don't know, but I'll take it. Right. So I come across this article here. I'm going to link it. Now, it came up when I was searching for this Sergey Malinka. Now, he's not named in this, but I think you'll find this interesting. This is the article here. Been a detective. I've had a few people say that to me over the years. So this police probe into calls and texts sent between suspects on the day Maddie vanished. Now, this was on the 3rd of July 2014. There you go. There's the date. So I don't know why this came up, but this is what I was saying to you. They keep making up new theories all the time. And on this particular day, it was that there was questioning 4 people. Now, bear with me. This Sergey is not named in this, but I think he is one of them. All right, bear with me. So it starts. Madeleine McCann detectives, this was like 11 years ago, have questioned 4 suspects over a series of texts and phone calls made at key moments on the day she vanished. I thought this was 2014. 2024, it's 2014. Listen to this, folks. According to Portuguese sources, a convicted burglar, a young beggar, contacted each other at the time Madeleine was seen leaving a children's play club, right? Police claim that they then exchanged 3 phone calls later that evening, coinciding with her mother and family friends leaving a restaurant where they were dining to check on her in the apartment where she was sleeping. So you've got to wonder why 7 years later they have got the phone calls between a convicted burglar and a beggar. Why would it 7 years later they noticed that these people had made 3 phone calls? I find that really bizarre. This is either a load of hogwash or they've got hold of there's something more to it. And when I started reading this, I thought this is just more nonsense. And I couldn't work out why when I put in Sergey Malinka, because I want to know more about him, and I think I will play the interview after and I won't speak, I promise. I know why this came up on the search now for him. I'm going to read on. Police claim they then exchanged 3 phone calls later that evening, coinciding where the parents, where they were dining to check. Yeah, I've read that bit, right? Goes on. The time. How would they know what time people are ringing each other? 7 years on. What? Doesn't make any sense. The timing of the phone calls could show that the pair were monitoring the McCanns ready to burgle their flat, right? Convicted burglar and beggar. It would also support the widely held theory. Remember, the theory now is that this convicted rapist kidnapped her, which I think is just nonsense. That the 3-year-old was killed during a botched break-in and a body removed and buried. So apparently that was the theory in 2014. Police believe the burglar, who was convicted, and he worked at the Ocean Club apartment complex. So why were the Portuguese company employing a convicted burglar to work on the complex, which is just a bit bizarre? In Proud Deluge, where the McCanns were staying, also spoke by phone with a heroin addict a day before her disappearance, right? So we've now got homeless young person, convicted burglar, we worked at Pride Deluge, worked at the Ocean Club Resort, and a heroin addict. Now, again, bear with me because I'm going to get onto this in a minute. You're going to see what this makes sense. This I found this looking for Sergey Malinka, and he is not named in here, but bear with me. How would the police know 7 years later who spoke to who on what day? And it doesn't, to this is just bizarre. They would have literally had to have gone through the entire town's phone records. Did they do that? Can the police do that? It doesn't make any sense. I hope you're following. I'm not confusing you all. Yeah, I know all about the fridge. I'm going to get onto that. I've got to do it in my own way because it's each piece of evidence is in order of how my brain is working. I will get onto the fridge theory. I will get onto the detective Aramal, I think his name was. I will get onto that. I'm just doing it a piece at a time, but I promise you, all of it will be covered in this series, right? So the police are now saying they've got 3 people, but the article says 4. So goes on. The 3 men faced a barrage of questions, again 7 years later, over texts and phone calls from Portuguese police guided by their British counterparts. This to me says that the Brits have been phone tapping, because how would they know all this? Detectives, now this is the important bit, guys, look at this. Detectives also grilled a fourth man, a local computer expert. Who was our local computer expert in 2007? Do you remember him? Are they talking about Sergey here? He's not named. They also grilled a local computer expert about a sofa that he dumped, which was later discovered to have DNA on it, similar to that found in the McCanns apartment. So what are the chances of this other computer expert dumping a sofa? I think this is the same computer expert that we've been talking about. And if all this is blowing your mind, don't let it, because I am not going to form an opinion, a full opinion, until I've got through all of this, right? As much as we can. There's over 4,700 documents. I'm not going to go through them all, but we're going to go through the pieces that we can. And if I find stuff and I go off on a tangent like I did with this, that's fine. But we're also going to be looking into the girl who says that she's Madeleine McCann as well, because the press have dismissed it. But I think we should look into it, because I don't believe what the media tell us. Because what are the chances of her having that exact same iris thing, which is like 1 in every so many million, if that? I've never come across anybody with a little brown line down their iris on the exact same eyeball in the exact same place. But I think we all need to follow the evidence, not go by what we've heard and what we've seen. We've heard about the fridge, we've heard about the pedestrian, but yeah, we've all heard about that. But let's follow the actual evidence, and this is evidence. So the Scotland Yard team will not reveal what new information they have gained from the interrogations. So these 4 people, homeless, beggar, convicted burglar, a heroin addict, and a local computer expert who put his sofa out that had DNA in their sofa, because the DNA technology back then, they couldn't confirm whether it was Maddie's or not. Well, that's what they said. They came back and said it was, and then they came back and said they can't work out whether it was just a coincidence match or it was a close match. It's irrelevant. It was her DNA. But they're coming back and now saying it's similar DNA. No, it's her DNA. It can't be similar DNA. So this sofa that this computer expert dumped had allegedly Maddie's or similar DNA in it. Now, who here is with me on this? Who believes that this local computer expert could be the same local computer expert as the dude who we've just been watching? We're going to go and watch it again now. I think it's the same person. Or do you think it's a separate computer expert? And if that's the case, this Sergey Malinka, why wasn't he re-questioned after this? If he was that computer expert and he did dump a sofa, that would explain his awkwardness during the interview that we watched last night. So, for the sake of this new information, I'm going to show you that interview again. I'm not going to talk through it. We're going to let it flow. So if you missed last night and you're wondering what's going on, this guy I've been talking about, who Robert Murrat's, he worked with Robert Murrat. He worked for Robert Murrat's mother. He worked for Robert Murrat's auntie. He was taken, he had his 14 days after Maddie went missing, he had his house raided and computers taken away, where police found pornography and bestiality. And then apparently 4 years ago, his friend, according to a statement by his friend's girlfriend, Alison, found PDF files on it. And this guy, they protest too much. So he'd just been released on this. He'd just been released from questioning, and the Sky News report. And people think this is set up. I don't think this is. You're forgetting, like I said last night, that the media was different then. This wouldn't happen now. You'd have Kay Burley there. It'd all be staged. But back then, the media, especially Sky News, before Disney, remember Disney didn't always have anything to do with Sky News. Disney bought out Sky News. Back then, Sky News wasn't owned by Disney. Sky News Australia never got bought out by Disney. They stayed the same. If you like Sky News Australia now, that's what Sky News UK used to be like. They used to ask questions, as did our tabloids. Apart from the BBC, they all did a pretty much okay job at journalism. This woman has been reading. You see, the Portuguese, their police were feeding the newspapers information. When Madeleine first went missing, the Portuguese, and I'm going to get onto that. If I get time tonight, I'll be showing you that as well, because I've got so much to get through. But if I don't do it tonight, we'll continue one night this week. I don't know what night yet, but we will continue this. Yeah, we'll get done what we can. So where was I? So this guy has been released, but the reason why this woman, this reporter, knows is because the Portuguese newspapers were reporting all this. They were reporting exactly what the Portuguese police were doing and saying. They were giving a running commentary to their Portuguese newspapers. And the British media were getting it from them. This is before August 2008, where the McCanns took the Daily Express and their sister paper, the Sunday Express, to court for libel, for printing what the Portuguese were saying. And then later on, they then sued the Portuguese newspaper. And the Portuguese newspaper was wiped. These articles were wiped from the internet. I've managed to find a copy and download it. So we'll be looking into that. And that is where we're going to lead on to the tapas 7. So we're going to watch this, and then we're going to put this guy to bed unless I find anything else. We're going to shelve it. We're going to take each piece of information, each suspect. We're going to look into everything we can, and then we're going to put it on the shelf. Yeah. And then at the end of all these live streams, we're going to look back at the shelf. I'm going to do a documentary, but I'm going to do it. Obviously, I'm not going to do it live. I will premiere it live, but I'm going to be putting every little piece of evidence, each shelf, each item on the shelf will then be coming back off the shelf, and I will be looking into each one, and I'll be putting it all together. It's going to take me a while, but I will do it. But these live streams are just me going through everything, and I'm learning with you as I'm going along. So some of this I know from reading last night. Some of this is new. I hope that's okay. This is how I'm doing it, and it means that you guys get to be involved in the making of this documentary. That's going to be my first ever one. It'll probably be crap, but I'll have a go, and it's the second part that counts. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to shut up. This is Sergey. Watch the body language and watch how he answers the questions. 17th of May 2007, this interview.
Sergey, first of all, we saw your computers being taken away. What were the police looking for on your computers?
I'm afraid I won't be able to answer this question. I simply can't.
Okay, now from what you know, did they find anything? Obviously, they were trying to use your expertise. You're here as a computer expert, if you like. They were using your expertise to help them analyze Robert Murrat's computers. Did they find anything that helped them with that from looking at your...
Really sorry, I've done one pause. I'm going to shut up. Computer expert, yeah? Computer expert. Remember, 7 years later, 2014, after this interview, a local computer expert had Maddie's DNA on his sofa that he threw out. Is that the same computer expert? We don't know. We need to read his book. I'm going to shut up.
Your computer.
I wouldn't know. I haven't been told, and I don't know. Simply, I don't know.
Was there, just gauging from the police, was there a suspicion that you were hiding something, or there was some kind of encryption involving computers, that you were hiding something for Robert Murrat?
As well, again, I wouldn't know. Simply, I don't know.
Just give us a sense, if you can, of why you offered your services, you offered to help with the police investigation. Why do you think the police thought that you could help?
Well, I guess from the previous interview I gave, it's because of my computer skills. And then whatever they might find out from my interview. And so we'll see.
Just give us a sense, if you will, of your role. You are something of a computer expert, am I right?
Yes, correct.
So how do you help people?
I fix the computers if I have to, servers, any kind of assistance with the computers.
And how did you get to know Robert Murrat, and what sort of assistance did you give him?
I can't comment on that.
But did he approach you? And from what we can gather, you helped set up his website.
My relationship with Robert Murrat is strictly professional.
Give us a sense, if you can. We know that Robert Murrat was interviewed as a suspect. Other people have been interviewed as witnesses. We heard today you were interviewed as a witness, but the police suggested that in the course of the investigation, that could lead to you being interviewed as a suspect. What do you understand from that?
Well, I guess police know better. Well, who's the suspect and who's the witness?
Just take us through yesterday, if you will. What happened? We know that you spent around 2 hours in your apartment with the police. Take us through the whole day. Tell us the story of the day.
I wouldn't want to say the preliminaries and minor things. It's just I've been taken by police. I got out from there late night. I got home, slept, and went there today again. And now I'm going home, and they confirmed that I'm a witness, not a suspect. So basically, I'm just going to wait for further investigation to see what's going on.
Now, you've been talking to me before we started this interview about your feelings about speculation, particularly in the Portuguese press. I mean, just what particularly do you want to set the record straight on?
Well, first of all, I'm not 30 years old. Second, I don't rape little kids. I'm a normal man. I don't do any stuff. Third, my criminal record has been clean always. I'm a resident of this country, so they would check that before they would give me a card. And I simply feel hurt by media, the way they describe me as a tyrann, as something unhuman, and they, without knowing, without asking, they assume things. The false information has been placed in the journals, on the TV, and it's damaged my name, not damaged harm, I would say, and my career. And those responsible to it will be held to answer.
We know that Luge is a very small resort, really, and you've lived there for about 5 years. Did you ever come across the McCanns or Madeleine? Did you ever see her?
Never, ever, no. The first time I've heard of Madeleine was the day of, not the day, I think the following day of the tragedy.
There, again, has been speculation that there are records suggesting that you and Robert Murrat had phone conversations around the time that Madeleine went missing. Did you speak to Robert Murrat around that time?
I cannot comment on that as well, I'm sorry.
What is your relationship with Robert Murrat?
My relationship with Robert Murrat is strictly professional, as I quoted before.
So just going back to these allegations of sexual offences that the Portuguese media in particular seem to be pursuing, what's your response to that?
I simply would ask media to leave me alone. I want to get on with my life. I have a career to run, hopefully, and I want to clear my name. So all those responsible for a false information and incorrect information will be held responsible to it, and we will try to arrange something.
Have you ever been in trouble with the police in any way in the past?
Never. So that's the first time, and it's gone really bad. Bad in the way of media, of course.
Have you gained any sense from the police that they are going to continue? I mean, how much of your equipment rather, do they still have, and are they going to continue to analyse that?
They will going to continue to analyze. As the first part of a question, I can answer that.
And from what you can gather, I mean, the suggestion that I think it was a general suggestion that being a witness can lead to being a suspect. Have you gained any sense from the police that you will be anything other than a witness?
No, I don't really know. It's the police. They know better what they're doing, and they know that leads to investigation. So whatever they think is right is right.
Do you know anything at all about the disappearance of Madeleine McCann?
No, I know. And if I would share it with everybody.
And have you had any contact with Robert Murrat in these past few days? We know he's been lying low in his apartment. You have a professional relationship. Have you had any contact at all?
No, he never contact me. I never contact him. No.
And from what you know, I mean, how is he dealing with this?
To be honest, I have no idea.
So from here, what will happen for you? What do you intend to do to carry on setting the record straight, as you put it?
Like I said before, I would like to clear my name. I would like to get the record straight with the media that's been presenting false and incorrect information by holding them responsible to the information and proving them wrong with the facts.
Right. So
Sergey, first of all,
there you go. I've just linked that. Just linked it. Let me just see how long I've been going. Hang on. An hour and 5. So yeah, for those of you that missed yesterday, or those of you that only seen bits of that, that was it in one go. Just give me 2 minutes. Just give me. I've just got to do something really quickly. Just give me 2 minutes, guys. It'll be really quick. Right, just one sec. Right, I'm not sure if we're going to get on to the 7:30 tonight. We will. I think we'll make an introduction. Right now, I don't know about you guys, but are you feeling that guy? Just give me your thoughts. Do you believe that guy, the way he was acting on the interview, knowing what we know now, that the police found the police found PDF stuff and bestiality? His friend said 4 years ago that he seen PDF material. There were 9, but they called them the 7:30 because the 7 were the friends. They were known as the 7:30 because Jerry and Kate were not part. They were the parents. Yeah. Hi Wendy. Of course you can swear. It's YouTube might not pass it though, but if they do, right. Right, if Al's watching, I've sent a message. It might not make any sense because it was written very quickly. Right, okay. I don't think. Just give me your thoughts on what's just happened. You see, I've had time. I do a phoning, but it's too late. I've not even eaten yet, and it's nearly 10:30. I don't think anything to do with it, but he's definitely a wrong 'un. Yeah, it's like he did look very edgy. Let me just read what people are saying in the chat. Looked very edgy. Yeah, well, the 7 was just what the media used because they're the witnesses. Yeah, that the 7:30 is how it was referred to. That's not mine. That is how it was referred to. If you Google 7:30, you will come with Madeleine McCann. All right. So I'm going to stick to how the media termed it. The media in Portugal called them that because Jerry and McCann are the parents. Jerry and Kate McCann are the parents. Okay. I'm not going to argue on whether they're called the 7:30 or the 9:30. Yeah. Because that's just silly. Look very edgy and nervous. Oh my God. I don't know why you're being so argumentative, but do you want to sit here and go through all this evidence and I'll go into chat and just let you do the stream, yeah? I think it was the parent says Little Miss Sunshine. There was 9. Yes, I know. Until he can suitably explain his cat. That's if it is him. We think it's him. Yeah. I personally think, Wendy, that the local computer expert was him. Okay. So, what I'm going to do, right, I think we're going to start an introduction into them because, oh yeah, by the way, folks, the other day, didn't you ask me the one question that Kate answered? You know, the 48 questions that she never answered? Excuse me. Do you want to know the question that she did answer? I'll read it to you. Actually, I'll show it you before we continue. I do think, though, we should do a phone-in at some point, but it won't be tonight. I did try and get on a bit earlier, but it didn't happen. Right, okay. Let's get this up, and then you can read it for yourselves, and you can make what you will. As you can see, I've been doing a lot of research behind the scenes on this. Hell of a lot. Okay. Now, this is a screenshot of an article in I think it was a Daily Express or something. I just want to add quickly before we continue that the press, they're not allowed to say anything negative about the parents, right? They are doing it in such subtle ways. They're not right. They've got to say everything nice because they sue them if they don't. But the press are still talking about the 48 questions. As long as the media stick to the facts, they're not allowed to talk about what the Portuguese papers printed because they got sued as well. But they can talk to the fact. They can talk about facts. And the facts remain that Kate refused to answer 48 questions. So they printed that. But she refused to answer, she did answer 1. And the only one she did answer was, are you aware that in not answering the questions, you are jeopardizing the investigation, which is what we all said, which seeks to discover what happened to your daughter? Yes, she answered, if that's what the investigation thinks. So she ignored the 48. One of the 48 questions, if you missed it, was in, I think it was the first or second podcast. It was in there anyway. I think it might have been is it the second? It's in one of them. I read them all out. One of them in those questions were, did you have anything to do with your daughter's disappearance? I think they actually asked her straight out, why did you kill your daughter? No, not why did you kill your daughter? No comment. She refused to answer. So this one she did answer. It's a bit of a word salad. Are you aware that in not answering, that's a pretty straightforward question. So by not answering, you're stopping us from doing our job, basically, which is to find your daughter. Are you aware that it is jeopardizing the investigation? Yes, if that's what the investigation thinks. So she's saying, if the investigation will be jeopardized by me not answering, then yes, I am aware. She's literally saying, F you, I don't give a shit, I'm not answering your questions. What are people saying in chat? Let's have a gander. Yeah, it's weird. Hi, Johnny, not Paul. How you doing? No, it isn't, Bridget. I totally agree. That is not what a normal mum would say. It isn't. Does Penny swear? Do I? I don't know. Not really, because I'm around the little one. I do swear. I swear a lot on here. You know about? I swear more online than what I would do in real life because my son's there. Not very often I swear, do I, Jackie? Exactly, it makes... Oh, yes, I'm an angel. Yeah, what the investigation thinks. Do you not find that a really bizarre answer? No. Penny can swear sometimes. Yeah. I get frustrated. Never hear my son swear. He's not allowed to swear till he's 51. She would only say she wanted to... She would only say if she wanted the cake. Exactly. That's what... Carlos, that's what she's saying in her word salad. Yeah, Susabelle, hi, darling. She refused to answer 48 questions, but only answered one, which was, do you know what you're doing here? And she's like, yeah. And isn't it just Ray Clay? Hi, that hurt. I think it is guilty. There's so much. You okay, my George? He's just woke up. He is snoring. He's just woke up and had a mad check on me, make sure I'm still here. He's so clingy. I love it though. I love it. But he's so clingy. Right then. Okay. Now, I will be doing call-in show on this, but obviously not yet because there's too much to get through. Now, we have different options here. I'm only going to go for another 15 minutes, just letting you know. So, in those 15 minutes, we could watch some more interviews, or I could just give you I'll tell you what, we'll do an introduction into the Tapas 7 because this was going to be about them, but I wanted to finish from last night. So, now, the Tapas 7 are the friends, as you know. There was 9 of them all together. So what I'm going to do here, honestly, guys, the stuff, when I go into these, it will blow your mind. All right. So everything I show you is High End City Farm. Everything I agree. Everything I show you on here again is from my own finding out stuff. All right. So it's not like I'm just coming out and just saying stuff and just going, I think this. So far, do you all agree? Because there's going to be haters. There's always haters. But are we all on the same page? I don't know, Wendy, but I don't think so. But we're going to go deeper into that. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to give you an overview of all of the key players involved. So we're going to look at all the people that are involved, including just a brief overview. All right. This article was when The Guardian actually did a little bit of journalism, and it's over 17 years old, which is what we want. You guys know me. I love old articles. This is from the 10th of April, 2008. This was before the PJ even files were released, which is where we're getting a lot of information. So it was from before that. Oh, hang on. Al said we're getting feedback. Hold on. Right, how's that? Let me know. How's that? I've put the microphone a bit closer to me, so I've turned the gain down. Al said turn... Right, let me know. Al, message me, please. Let me know. Okay, so you need to let me know whether you've... Let me know. And if the door goes, can you go to the door, please? Okay, so this article from April 2008, from before the files come out. But let's not forget what I said earlier, is that the Portuguese media were getting their information from the Portuguese police directly. So everything what the Portuguese police were doing was going straight there. Now, in next time, on next time show, we're going to read the paper that was banned. It was banned and it was sued and it's been scrubbed from the internet. But I've got a copy and I've downloaded it from the internet. Okay? So that's going to be on next time, and we're going to go deeper into the Tapas 7. Okay? This is just an introduction. Right. I do find it weird that they got that Clarence Mitchell. And let's not forget, later on, they got that, what's his face, that Max Clifford involved. But we're going to start here. So I'm going to read this one out, and we're going to stop for today, and we will continue. It's because the gain was too high. I turned the gain up. Let me know how that is. Give me an answer. Is the audio okay? Don't forget, Al's a sound engineer, so he hears things. And he did say the gain was too high the other day, and I was like, "Oh, it'll be fine." Right? Look how the Guardian, right, have worded this case. Again, before the Daily Express got sued and the Portuguese newspaper got sued, the media were calling them the protagonists. Just under a year on. 5 for 5 for now. Fab, thank you. Al's messaged me, hang on. Better, but a bit more. Hang on. I have got it. Hang on a minute. It's quite handy having a sound engineer, I suppose. Right. Now it's going to change. I've just turned auto sound adjust on, so it might be a bit quiet now. I don't know. It was loud. I had to turn down my speakers. Oh, let me know what it's like now. I've put it on auto on my laptop. You should have told me, Blackjack. You need to tell me. If you don't tell me, I don't know. I won't get offended. It takes a lot more than that to offend me. Okay, so the protagonists. So this article is, thank you, Blackjack, is giving us a rundown of all the people involved. And this is, hi Tamsin, and this is how we're going to lead on to the information on the Tapas 7. The next show is going to be more into the Tapas 7, and we're going to be talking about Jane Tanner, who is one of the Tapas 7, who is one of the ones that said that she's seen a man carrying a child. But we're not going to talk about that right now, because we're going to be covering this. Thank you, Unity Coin. I appreciate that, my friend. Right, Clarence Mitchell. Okay, he was brought in, and again, this is under a year later, still missing. The former BBC journalist. Oh yeah, and I'll be doing another show on all the money as well. Again, that is another separate thing. This is what I mean. There's at least 3 or 4 shows to go. As long as you guys want to watch, I'll keep going, because this information, I just want to share it, you know? Okay. Clarence Mitchell, the former BBC journalist, was appointed early on in the investigation. Again, this is just under a year after. It's still early on to us, because it's been 18 years now. Clarence Mitchell as the official spokesman. Oh, the Guardian would say spokesperson now, wouldn't they? You can't say spokesman now. He represented them in the immediate aftermath of the incident, after being sent to Praia de Luz by the Foreign Office. Okay, rewind. Why would the Foreign Office and Gordon Brown personally intervene in this case? Were they there when Ben Needham went missing? No. That is a whole new topic that we will be doing a show on after this, if you want me to. Because that little boy went missing before Madeleine McCann, and he's still missing. But there's been no fighting for Ben fund, as far as I'm aware. There's been no prime ministers getting involved and foreign office and all that stuff, because it was a working class family on holiday. Yeah, it is a lot. Is that what it is, Bridget? I knew it was a lot. So what's right? The first thing you do is your child's gone missing, right? Your child's gone missing. What do? You get a spokesperson, a former BBC journalist, to come and do the media spin. Does that sound like normal parents? Now, it says here that Clarence Mitchell spent considerable time with the family organising their trips across Europe. Again, this was The Guardian back then. You could tell that they were suspicious by the way that it's written. According to Jerry McCann, the couple's visit to Rome to meet the Pope. They went and met the Pope just months after their daughter vanished. So Clarence Mitchell, BBC again, it's always the old BBC, got this guy in and he got them to meet the Pope. As a BBC reporter, he covered the wars in Bosnia, Kosovo and Iraq, as well as the royal family, a role which coincided with the death of Princess Diana. He is brought in as a spin doctor. That's what he does. But if you're grieving parents in the immediate, and I mean the immediate aftermath, who would expect a former BBC journalist, spin doctor, to come in and do all your media stuff? That's the first one. Now, I think we're not even going to get this page done. I'm probably going to do this Michael Kaplan, and then we'll end it, and I will carry on as soon as I can. If I get time tomorrow, I will do it tomorrow. It depends what I've got on, okay? But don't think I'm just going to stop and leave it. I am going to continue, okay? Okay, Al said it's much better. Good. I'm not touching it then. Okay. So, we've done Clarence Mitchell, okay? Michael Kaplan QC. Now, Kaplan is one of the two lawyers the McCanns have hired to defend them against suggestions that they might be involved in their daughter's disappearance. Now, listen to this. This Michael Kaplan QC is a part-time judge. Now, who has this? Who has these sort of people appear to defend you? A part-time judge in the Crown Court and a chairman of the Police Disciplinary Appeal Tribunal. He has a reputation for the profession for reliability and tenacity. In Chambers UK 2007, A Client's Guide to the Legal Profession, he is described as the weapon of choice for battleship cases. What the F? Why would you have this again straight away? You get in. This is the first one. Is that the door? Gone. AI, if you're watching, can you get out in case that's delivery? Please. because it's just going to freak me out. Look on the cameras. AI, check the cameras, please, because I can't watch. So the first one is Michael Kaplan, who is a part-time judge, not even a retired judge, a part-time judge. He's the weapon of choice, I'm quoting, for battleship cases. Now listen to this. This is not the first time that Kaplan has dealt with big media interest cases. Again, this just happened. An expert in extradition and international criminal law. He prevented the extradition to Spain of former Chilean President General Augusto Pinochet when he was arrested in the UK in 1998. So he can stop baddies being in trouble and extradited. He also defended the captain of the dredger Bowbell, whose collision with the Marchioness on the Thames in 1989 resulted in the deaths of 51 people. This guy is basically could get you out of anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover the other lawyer and then we're going to stop. There's 3 lawyers. Think, yeah, we'll do this and then we'll carry on tomorrow. So the 7:30, I'm going to rechange the name of this stream. We're going to get rid of that banner because the 7:30 will be tomorrow. But we've had to cover quite a lot tonight. Right, let me just edit this. Yeah, my food's come now, so I'm gonna have something to eat now anyway. So, but we'll finish these last 2. All right. Okay, 93 people watching, guys. Please hit the like. It does really help me out. Okay, it helps out the algorithms. So, we've got quite a few watching. We've got 92. We had over 100 at one point. So a massive thank you. 57 likes. Thanks everyone. Even dislikes help as well for the haters. Right, okay. Now, there's 3 lawyers. Right, let's bear in mind, these are supposed to be distraught parents trying to find their daughter. They hire this legal team. And this isn't later on. They were telling us this in less than a year later. Hi, Saskia Don. Less than a year later. Madness, isn't it? Oh, you're all right, Joe. I really appreciate anyone that does. But I'd say if people really helped last night, so we can get the back catalogue on the newspapers. But if anyone wants to help out, you can with the animals. Let me I forgot to put the what's it in as well instead. Hang on. Let me put the wish list in. Some people would rather just send items, you know. Hang on. There we go. Anybody wants to do that, you can for the animals. There's stuff for the bunnies, stuff for the wildlife, and there's even a couple of bits for the boys in there as well if you want to treat them. Right, okay. Oh, George is licking my laptop. He's been for a drink and he comes back and he always kisses me with his wet tongue and he can't reach me, so he's kissed my laptop instead. Oh, I love you too, George. Saskia, I've been on and off ill. I'm so sorry you're still poorly. I honestly, I don't know I was shaking this morning. I didn't think I'd be able to stream. I think there's something going around and I've been fighting it and I've ordered some more of my original vitamins because I changed them and they're just not working, the new ones. Anyway, I digress. The second one from this legal team that they literally got in straight away to defend them, the other lawyer hired by the McCanns, McBride, this was Angus McBride. Yeah, that's what I'm getting, Saskia. I'm really sorry. Vitamin D, natural, not synthetic. Go to Together Health and get some vitamin D, zinc, and vitamin C, D, C, and zinc. Trust me. So this Angus McBride, like Kaplan, is a partner in the legal firm Kingsley Napoli. So this Kaplan guy and this McBride are both partners in this big legal firm, right? I'm also spraying silver in the back of my throat as well. He is a leading criminal solicitor. Why would they hire a criminal solicitor if they're looking for their daughter? It's just the fact that they were immediately saying she's been abducted. That isn't, I was saying this the other day, this isn't a natural this isn't a natural reaction. If you've got a mischievous little girl who's nearly 4 and apparently she was cheeky, she was, very active, you'd be looking in the wardrobe. Your first reaction would be, oh my God, she's got out. She could be in the swimming pool. You wouldn't be thinking she's been abducted straight away. Your brain would be, I'd take that as well. And C, you need C. But magnesium helps D3 to be absorbed, and iron helps vitamin C to be absorbed. I'm getting distracted again. This is what happens when I read the chat, see? So she kept saying that she'd been abducted. I find that bizarre. So this other guy, right? He works with celebrities. Okay. His expertise is dealing with the media and protecting the reputations of accidental celebrities such as the McCanns. McBride has represented Chris Langham, who was jailed for downloading child P. Are you hearing this? The second lawyer in their legal team defended a pedo. Are you hearing this, folks? He defended a pedo. He defended various professional footballers, including John Terry and 2 other Premier League players accused of rape in 2003. Oh, my child's gone missing. Let's go and hire a former BBC journalist and reporter who has done a lot of covered big cases, and let's go and hire a paedophile protection lawyer and grape. Yeah. And then they got one of Portugal. So they had these 2 lawyers. Yeah. And then they got a Portuguese lawyer. Do you want to hear about him? Carlos Pinto de Abreu. Abreu is one of Portugal's best known lawyers with a reputation for taking on controversial cases. Why would it be controversial if your child is missing? Why do you need a criminal lawyer? He lodged the McCanns libel action against Portuguese newspaper Tal and Qual, which said they were police suspects after it was believed that they administered their daughter a fatal drug overdose. Remember when the papers were reporting on that initially? The Lisbon lawyer has offered his services to the McCanns for free because they've got friends in high places. He also applied to the district attorney, vanilla, banana,
right,
strawberry. Thank you. Okay. He also applied to the district attorney for a check. Did you? Can you hear George? Did you? He wants my attention. Ow, I'm coming now, Georgie. Just reading this last piece. George! Woof, woof, Georgie. Woof, oh, woof, oh, woof. Woof. In the fridge, please. Can you hear him? Woof. You can't work with children or animals. Woof. Woof. Can you hear him? Oh, Wendy, that is so kind. Oh, darling, thank you. I will literally order some more hedgehog food. I've just seen a WhatsApp. I'll message you after, darling, if you're listening. So, which said they were police suspects after it was believed. Do you remember all the overdose stuff? The Lisbon lawyer has offered his services for free. He also applied to the district attorney for a change in the couple's formal status from witnesses to assistant. If you remember, they were named originally in the September of 2007 as suspects. Then they got put down to witnesses, and then he applied to the judge to get them changed to assistants, thus allowing them to know more about it. He is the president of the Human Rights Committee for the Portuguese Bar Association. So we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you so much, Wendy. Honestly, really appreciate that. It'll help out with. I need to order some more stuff, actually, because the squirrels ran out of. I can't cope with them all. I'm spending about an hour and a half every night, 2 hours, doing all that stuff for the animals, cleaning, filling. I've run out of monkey nuts for Pip and what's the other one called? Peanut. Al named them. So I'm going to get some monkey nuts and some peanuts for them. So thank you, darling. That's really kind of you. Right. So blitzed through quite a lot tonight. I'm not doing as much chit chat because there's so much to get through. But tomorrow, or I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. It definitely won't be on Tuesday. It might be tomorrow, but I might just have a couple of days off. I don't know. But the next time we stream, I know, it's madness though. Pip and Peanut are the two squirrels that were born in our garden last year to Suki. And they're little sods and they keep on eating all the bird stuff. The birds have mealworms, kalki worms, suet pellets, suet balls. They have peckish no-grow mix with, and then they have sunflower hearts. They have all this stuff, and then Pip, I did get them some squirrel mix, but they only pick out the monkey nuts, so I just bought monkey nuts, peanuts, and sunflower hearts, and they just keep on eating all the bird food and leaving their own till after. They're so naughty. No, you have to feed them all year round because there's fledglings. And then they're going to have another brood in July. No, they're already getting ready to mate again now. Because the cold tip was out there this morning doing his little sing that he does in usually around February, March. You should feed them all year round. Oh, Gray, of course. He's got red in him, though. It's not his fault, is it, that he's not native? It's not his fault where he's been born. You know, I do want to protect the red. Yeah, it's true, Joe. Time does really fly. Thank you very much. I really appreciate everyone. Again, thank you, Wendy. Thank you to our members as well, guys. You can join channel memberships. You get your little badge and you get your comments pinned and stuff in the comment section. And I do little exclusives, but I also do it on my animal channel as well. It was a lawyer, says Mega Mosh, to advise Kay to go no comment. It probably was a lawyer, but if you got any, like, this is what I mean, like, it probably was a lawyer, but how do you know that? You know, like, people keep saying to me, it was this, it was that. I'm just going to go through the files and see where I come out, you know, because I'm going down this rabbit hole. No one's talking about Sergey Malinka that I know of. No one got all that witness statement out. No one found out that he was accused of having PDF on his laptop. So this is why I need to do it in my own way and this way. Nikki, I don't even want to think about it, because when we do move, what we're going to do, I swear to God, Terry Knowles band again. I'm considering it, trust me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to keep coming back to the new people and saying, can I feed you? Can I feed them? Right, okay, I'm going to go now. So I'll be back. I might be back tomorrow, okay? I don't know. I don't want to say I will be, but I will be back on. Just keep the bell on, keep the notifications on. I always post it on Penny Bunny as well to let you all know that I'm going live over here, but I will be back. I don't think they will, because I'm hoping to stay in the same area, but the hedgehogs, like, saying that, they do travel a good couple of miles a night, apparently, hedgehogs do. But I don't know if I'll be that close. But anyway, that I don't even know when it's happening yet, so I'm not going to think about it because I get myself all upset. So, where was I now? Yeah, I'll be back on, and we will continue with we're going to be looking at all the main players leading on to the Tapas 7, and I've got explosive stuff on the next one that will blow your mind. You don't want to miss it, okay? You thought that was mind-blowing. The next one is going to be mind-blowing, if that's a word. Right, hit the like, guys. Thank you again. You can join the membership, you can donate or anything like that. Help stuff for the animals. It does help, and I really, really appreciate you all. Take care. Good night. God bless. Bye.